While we've gone on Weep Ninny Bong, I'm Engineer Hoist. Welcome to our weekly Transformers Earth Wars news stream. We start off the show, the pre-show, with a question. Today I asked, who is your favorite cassette Transformer? And you can imagine the familiar names showed up. We got votes for Rumble, we got votes for Frenzy, Ravage, Eject, Rewind, Steeljaw, Ramhorn, but far and away Laserbeak takes the prize for most votes. It was a very unscientific poll, but I like this comment from Dojak the Best. It must be Laserbeak, one of the most competent Decepticons of all time. Indeed, even to Megatron. Welcome, Laserbeak. Unlike some of my other warriors, you never fail me. So, and I like how they cut to Starscream during that line. But anyway, welcome to everybody. Red Alert is here. Lil Tank, 1409, Rodimus, Optimus Rodimus, Oktar, Crusher, Gunfire, Big Bronze Rim is here, Moshaw, Silverbolt, lots of folks. Good to see you. Grand Galvatron's showed up here, ringing the bell, right on time. And I always answer the question myself. Personally, in the story-wise, I'm a big fan of the IDW comics, and I love how they wrote Rewind, and also Ravage was also a very good. Toy-wise, I'm a little partial to these two because they're the only two cassettes that I got as a kid. Overkill and Slugfest, and they are relevant, which you'll see once we get through the news. Or at least one of them is. Speaking of the news, how about we go ahead and get right to it? This weekend's event is called A Fresh Start. Take part in this weekend's event to win a whole bunch of G1 power cores that are just coming out tomorrow. We'll talk about what those are in a moment. You can get 3 power cores. It doesn't say bronze power cores, so it seems like that's one kind of like the premiums, which we've been getting now, where you're mostly going to be bronze, but you still have a chance for a silver or gold. You also will have a chance for 1 silver and also 1 gold power core chips. You can get another War for Cybertron skin core, which those are all cool. 10,000 premium shards, 1,500 3-star shards, 750 4-star shards, and up to 50,000 spark, and there are also total spark crystals if you really want to grind it out. This is an individual event and starts at the usual Friday start time, ends at the usual Monday stop time. 1 big prize list, so no prestiges, and triple XP throughout the event. To participate, you have to be headquarters level 4 like for any event, but since it's individual, you could be an alliance or not an alliance. It really doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. So hit that yellow event button, pick your zone, win the battle, get the points, and go win your prizes. The battle zones are the standard battle zones. And here is a summary of the prizes that you can get. All of the prizes except for the total spark crystal are obtained by the time you hit 10,000 points in this event, which it can be tough if you're just starting out, but if you've been playing for a little while, it might take a little bit of work, but 10,000 points is pretty achievable. So it's a nice, easy event. Gets you some good stuff. I mean, you can even get all of your 4-star shards by 7,500. So if you're not concerned about extra spark or G1 gold core, you can pick however far you want, and you do get some of these prizes all along the way. So it's not like you have to get to 7,500 to get all of the 4-star shards there. So very cool, nice, pretty standard individual event. Just shifted up the prizes a little bit. And if you're not familiar with the total spark crystals, equal chance to get 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000 of any of the combat, combiner, or regular spark. Very cool crystals. I like that they show up a lot because very, very good prizes in there. Because especially with the combat spark, if you've ever tried to level up your combat bots, you know that stuff goes quick. And speaking of combat bots, we've got a couple of new ones coming out. All we know about these guys is what they look like and their names. These guys are, the Autobot is Dial, and the Decepticon one is Overkill. And now you know why I brought out my Overkill. at the beginning, and why I asked about cassette transformers. Now he doesn't. The one game that let's try this again. In the game, they're not using this mold. Turns out, Overkill was done most recently using a Classics Grimlock mold, and that's what this design is based off of. That is the for Overkill. Not so much the original G1 here, but the Classics Grimlock version that came out. And Dial is actually, I would call, a pretty obscure character. It was only in the Headmasters cartoon, so I think Grand Galvatron should know all about Dial. I had never heard of that particular character before, but it also was based off of a cassette transformer for the Autobots, and apparently it's one of the more rare transformer toys out there. Or at least the original G1. So they are cassette transformers. So now we haven't learned anything more, like I said, other than what they look like and what they're named. But because they are cassette transformers, I have a feeling these combat bots are going to be similar to Ravage and Night Stalker in that they are sort of partner combat bots as opposed to weapons to wield. That is going to be my guess, is that these guys are going to be similar to Ravage and Night Stalker in that when you can equip them to any of your bots, and they'll just be another bot on the battlefield to help you out. Just a guess, no confirmation or anything, but the fact that they're based off of cassettes just like Ravage and Night Stalker, that is my guess. Okay, I beat that to death. Let's move on. There is a new campaign coming tomorrow. This came out of nowhere. Had not heard of this. First I saw it was in the newsletter. I'm like, what are you talking about? A whole new campaign? We just got one, and now all of us, months, years go by, no new campaigns, and all of a sudden we get two of them in the span of just a couple of months, and it's really great. But although there's a little twist to it, so we'll talk about that here in a second. This is going to be called the Regenesis campaign. It will be available this Thursday, and Space8 is saying they partnered with the UN Environment Program to play for the planet. Join them in becoming citizen scientists. Autobots and Decepticons are on the hunt for the new Helio Harvester production building, a cutting-edge technology that will boost the energon production of your base. Interesting. New campaign, and a new building for your base. And I did have access, turns out, in the test account, and this shows up after the War for Cybertron campaign, after the Omega Supreme. I'm not sure what you have to be to unlock it. I heard somewhere around Headquarters level 8, although that's not 100% confirmed. And it does say, as you can see at the top, they do provide your attack squad, very similar to that Omega Supreme campaign. So very cool, and there's a little image of the Helio Harvester. I've got better ones here coming too. So this is the Autobot version of them. Apparently, it's like solar panels, opens up kind of like a flowers, and they fold up and drop in. So you know how the buildings do in the game. They kind of, they move. They oscillate back and forth. So I have a feeling we'll be seeing a similar thing with these. And the Decepticon one is there. So those are obviously in Headquarters 16 and 17 level colors. If you are able to get it earlier than that, I'm not sure if it's going to be those colors at the lower level bases or if it's going to match the coloring of the bases. Not real sure. I suppose we'll find out as people start getting these. So what does this Helio Harvester do, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. When charged, this building increases the production of all energon harvesters by 100%. It doubles the production, basically, for 24 hours. Charging the Helio Harvester costs only 50,000 alloy. Depends on where you are in the game. Earlier in the game, 50,000 is quite a bit. Costs 50,000 alloy, and you can also double charge to extend the duration to 48 hours. It works very similar to, if you're at the higher levels, the shield generator or the combiner outpost, although it's far less in cost. Complete the campaign and unlock the brand new solar-powered building for your base. and take the short survey to help our friends at Ren21 on their mission to bring renewable energy to more people on this beautiful planet of ours. So there you go. Yes, I think that's funny. I think I saw you point that out earlier, Big Bronzer. I'm not sure why it costs alloy when it's solar powered. Sure sounds alloy powered to me, right? So now here's the interesting thing, and I'm not sure if you guys have mentioned it in the comments yet, but I did see some chatter about this. Big Bronze Room was talking about it. A few guys in my Discord. I did see discussion about it in the VIP Discord as well. After a while, as you progress in the game and you get to be a little bit of a higher level, you can earn Energon pretty easily just by doing raids, because if you're attacking in zone 12, the minimum you're going to get is 200,000 from a raid. So you can get all that fairly easily. Lower levels, Energon is pretty hard to come by. So you do run into that case. So at the lower level, it might be helpful, but at the upper level, it's not as helpful. But it can be a detriment because it is an additional building on your base, which provides attack points to people attacking your base. Silverbolt's saying it's 2 points. I haven't heard any of that, but yes, it takes up spots on your map. Excuse me. It adds attack points for your for people attacking your base, and it doesn't necessarily provide that much benefit at a higher level. So as of right now, this is how it's going to work, but I know there's definitely people lobbying for a little bit of a difference. So it's up to you. There's going to be quite a few people who are choosing not to complete this campaign and get this building, and other people might be really looking forward to it if you're really hurting for Energon. But as you progress and get later in the game, it may ultimately end up being a detriment to you. So these are the kinds of things you have to weigh out. Is it worth getting a little bit more Energon by also making it a little bit kind of a help to people that attack your base? It's kind of like why I was always lobbying to not build your combiner outpost as soon as you completed the Combiner Wars campaign if you didn't have a combiner available. But of course, with the addition of Omega Supreme immediately available by a campaign, that advice is kind of gone out the window. So if you complete the Combiner Wars campaign, go ahead and build that lab and go get yourself Omega Supreme. But that's the discussion there. Time will tell to see if it stays like this or if it gets improved and makes it a little bit more worthwhile and people start adding it. But that's why it's good to go ahead and join up on Discord. You can check the link in the description of the video to my Discord if you want to go over there and chat with us about this. And I'm sure there's chatter in the Facebook fan groups and things like that too. So. But anyway, regardless of how you feel about it or whether you do it, new campaign is coming tomorrow, and the prize at the end of the campaign is the Helio Harvester building. Of course, you can choose to complete the campaign and get the Harvester and to just not put it in your base, but then you're going to have that annoying little one down there just nagging, grinding in your soul. Maybe that's just me. But, so, I haven't decided whether I'm going to do it yet or not, but if I don't want to put the thing in there, I won't be completing the campaign. Because as you could tell from a moment ago, I don't really like having that number sitting there. Anyway, let's move on. There are some new G1 power cores. I think we've heard about this for a little while, but they're coming tomorrow, apparently. And if you're watching the video, by the time you watch the video, they're out and they should be available in the game. And these are also the cores that will be in the crystals that you can win during this weekend's event. First up, we've got G1 Smokescreen and Breakneck. Now what this does, if you equip it to that bot, it will increase your regular damage against enemy bots and combiners by a percentage. Not the special ability, but the regular damage. But when you use your ability, and this is where it's cool and very appropriate for Smokescreen, you can cloak yourself in Exhaust Smoke that absorbs 50% of damage for 5 seconds. Remember when Trax came out and he had that little Smokescreen ability, and everybody's like, why didn't Smokescreen get that? Well, now he does. And Breakneck too, because they're basically the same character on opposite sides of the faction wall divide thing there. So there you go. The Smokescreen finally lives up to his name. The next set is G1 Hot Rod and Nemesis Prime. The Blessing of the Matrix or Power of Darkness, the special ability. makes yourself and your target faster. So it increases the movement speed of both the person that you bless with the ability, plus also improves Hot Rod or Nemesis Prime at the same time. Not sure if that's the greatest thing, but maybe if you could then start to look at their ability as not just a shield, but also a, hey, now they can move faster. So if you got somebody out ahead of the crowd, you can shield them from damage, but also help them cause more damage by increasing their movement speed. So I think there's a pretty good use of it. You would just have to weigh that against whatever other core that you might have on those bots at the time. Next up, you got G1 Alpha Bravo in Long Haul, and increases the special ability damage by a percentage and reduces damage from mortars and missile launchers by a percentage. Basically, they took a volatile mixture and a flak jacket, smushed them together, and said, here you go, Alpha Bravo in Long Haul. That's basically what this is. I don't know what else there is to say about that, but if you ever had a volatile mixture and you're like, man, I really wish I had a flak jacket too. Now, if you have a G1 Alpha Bravo in the Long Haul and you get their G1 core, you're in business. And lastly, we've got the G1 Mirage and Breakdown, and this is also cool. It's kind of like Smokescreen, where he's living up to his name. You become invisible for a few seconds every 20 seconds, and the effect of your EMP rockets is also longer. So now when it says invisible, I don't think they actually disappear. If you've ever noticed like Jetfire, Sky Striker, or Ravage, every so often they'll get this little eyeball thing above there that basically is saying that they're invisible to the enemies. So I imagine you'll still be able to see these guys. You'll just see that they'll be invisible to the defenses for a few seconds. But here's the key: the effect of the EMP rockets is longer, and I believe that means they're also going to end up causing more damage with them. So very cool that you can actually become invisible. So I like how Mirage and Smokescreen are actually kind of living up to the thing. Mirage is enveloped in a yellow cube. Okay, and Breakdowns is purple. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can clearly see that I haven't actually tried these out. but yeah, so Sunstreaker Waza showed it off, so if you want to go see what that looks like, if you don't want to wait until you can get it yourself, go check out Sunstreaker Waza channel. You should do that anyway, because he's a great guy and makes great videos anyway, so you can go head over there and check that out. Thank you for that, guys. And I think that was it, except to remind anybody who happens to be watching this on replay, check us out Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/EngineerHoist, so you can join us live for the recording of this and engage in any kind of live crystal cracking like we have coming up here, because it was VIP week this week. Also, you can follow me at Engineer Hoist on Instagram and Twitter for infrequent behind-the-scenes content. And that brings us around the horn to there. Okay, so before we get to the crystals, here's a close, more up-close look at Overkill from G1. He's seen better days. He was well loved. And his partner Slugfest, if we're seeing Overkill, there's a pretty good chance we'll be seeing Slugfest at some point along the way. Very cool. These guys were Soundwave's cassettes. Interesting thing, I never had Soundwave. I never had any cassettes. These are the only two cassettes I had as a kid. So that's why they kind of have a little bit of a special place in my heart there. Okay, so time to crack some crystals. So, like I said, it was VIP weekend. They gave us enough premium shards for 25 crystals. They gave us a few other things, like Guardian crystals, which just drop shards. I went ahead and cracked all of those. But I got 5 Decepticon crystals and 20 Autobot crystals. And I did see I'm about 6 3-star duplicates away from a 4-star crystal, so who knows? Maybe we'll be able to get to a 4-star crystal. Maybe we'll get a 4-star out of this batch. The VIP crystals have traditionally not been very kind to me, so I expect this to be a big old duplicate party. But what the heck? I didn't pay anything for these crystals. These are all bonus. And so, not really going to complain. Anything to get out of here is gravy, as they say. I agree. I would like to see Overkill and Slugfest as a masterpiece. I mean, they've... Or even Siege or Earthrise. I mean, they've been making everybody else... I mean, Wing Thing, for crying out loud, has a little figure, so... Oh, there's a 3-star. That's one down. Never got the KFC ones. Yeah, me either. I got one third-party tape. I got a KFC. I got the Ramhorn version. I forget what he's called. Ooh, I got a thrust. Exactly. If we can get Wing Thing, we can get Slugfest and Overkill. I agree with that. Alright, so no new Decepticons. Synchronise. Got a 4-star Jetfire Cybertron. Very cool. There's a Goldfire. Did you see the news about the Prime 10th Anniversary War Breakdown in Vehicon? I did see that, and I'm actually kind of excited about that. Breakdown is the one character, the main cast, that I never got a figure for, because it was only released in Japan, and at the time I really wasn't into the going overseas and getting the figures from there. Otherwise I would have gotten that. So I'm really hoping to see that that is true, because I would love to add a breakdown, whether it's war or not. I'd love to get to the breakdown and get it to the add it to my collection. I've got a number of Vehicons, but you know that you can never have too many Vehicons. It would be really cool if it was an Air Vehicon, because the only Air Vehicon that I got in the deluxe class was that one that they remade into Wingspan as part of a BotCon set. Oh, it's just a single deluxe figure named War Vehicon, or War Breakdown Vehicon? Oh, okay, so it's just a single figure. Okay. Well, I mean, that's cool too. I mean, if it's a if it's that breakdown mold, that'd be cool. Okay, so we got Tigerhawk, Warpath, so that would be interesting that they would have named it that way, War Breakdown Vehicon. What does that imply? See, Runabout looks way better than Runamuck. He's just the same guy, but in black. I mean, if you like black Transformers more than you like white Transformers, then sure, he's going to look a little bit better. Interested, because, I mean, because of the darkness of the plastic, it will hide the shadows a little bit better, so it'll look a little bit more mysterious or whatever. Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at, Devno Ray. It hides the hollow parts. Great minds think alike. Yeah, black is very thinning, right? I was going to say that's why we wear black. This is more of a dark blue. There's another 3-star. I don't know if we'll get to it though. Get to the 4-star. Got a few of them. Is Inferno? Still waiting to see him come out in Earthrise. I think somebody found something like that in, like, you know, they when they searched like retailer registers or something. I think we saw that there's an Inferno coming. I mean, it makes sense. If there's a grapple, you can be sure there's an Inferno coming. It's not so much the other way around. They've done Inferno but no grapple. But if you see a grapple, you can be pretty sure there's an Inferno. Not too far behind. And the last crystal gives us Another blaster, or as Grand Galvatron says, Billy. And so there you go. Our VIP Crystals is living up to tradition and was just a big old dupe party. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for this week. If you're watching the replay, join us Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/EngineerHoist so you can join in live, and also for our little after show discussion where we talk mostly about Transformers, but sometimes wherever the conversation goes, we'll follow. Which we're going to do right now as soon as I sign off. Other than that, I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep rolling, my friends, and we'll see you next time.